Hello everyone, it's my pleasure to meet you all. The first lecture will cover how to prepare an action plan. This course aims to help students create and develop projects. Through this lecture, you will learn things to consider when preparing an action plan, such as what is your goal, what is needed, and how to mobilize resources. You can build a chain by using various components. A project is a composite which is strategically created by combining various inputs such as money, labor, technology, land, and partnerships. Once a chain is created, you may formulate project modeling such as next step, which leads to execution plan. When it happens, you will be able to communicate with a variety of stakeholders, including funding agency, implement, beneficiaries, and policy makes in a professional manner. I believe that you will all become expert in result-oriented action plans through this lecture. Let me ask you a question. What is an action plan? What do you think of the action plan? Is the action plan useful? Why do we learn action plans? Wikipedia defines the action plan as a detailed plan outlining action needed to reach one or more goals. Another definition is a sequence of steps that must be taken or activity that must be performed well for a strategy to succeed. These definitions are clear. If I have to define the action plan in a simple form, I can say that it's a step-by-step strategic approach to your goal. When we have a specific mission or project, we first prepare an action plan to organize that mission or project to conduct it systematically. The systematic means effective. A well-prepared action plan must be aligned with the project cycle. Therefore, it is necessary to fully understand the business cycle. The World Bank has defined this project cycle as the following 9 stages. First, project identification. Second, problem and situational analysis. Third, project design and presentation. Fourth, project appraisal and approver. 5. If approver, startup. 6. Build a partnership. 7. Project implementation. 8. Monitoring and evaluation. 9th, feedback. This 9-stage approach is very common and can be applied to most projects. Although the 9-stage approach described of it is common, it's hard to remember because there are so many stages. Therefore, it can be integrated into the following 3 steps. First, plan. Second, do. Third, see. Remember these 3 steps in the action plan. Plan, do, see are the 3 main stages of the project cycle. This lecture will cover the first step, the planning step. Every project starts with a plan. A good plan leads to good result. Therefore, we will focus on result-based action plan. Not a simple action plan, result-based or result-oriented means that you must develop an action plan to achieve the goals of the project in a logical chain of activities. Let me ask you a question again. What is the result? The result means a change in a state or condition resulting from a series of causal relationships. A change can be intended or unintended. Alternatively, it can be positive or negative. What change or result do you want? What type of change are you intending for in your action plan? It will be absolutely intentional or positive change. To cause this type of change, we develop an action plan. There are 3 types of change caused by development interventions: output, outcome, and impact. Impact means a long-term change driven by social or national outcomes. The outcome means the result or change caused by the output of the project design. Outputs are the output produced by an activity. There are causes causing changes. This cause is an activity or development intervention, which is combined with various input technically. Therefore, the logic chain of change can be organized into input, activity, output, outcome, and impact. You'll be able to understand the logic chain in the form of a pyramid or a flowchart. Visual is important to share your logic chain with your stakeholders. Inputs indicate what is invested, activity indicate what is done, output indicated what is produced, and outcome indicated what result. Now, you can understand the system of logic chain to draw result. Here is a simple example of a logic chain. A toddler cries for candy. Candy is not good for health. Parents buy fresh juice for their baby, and the toddler stops crying. The toddler is happy now. It's a very simple example, but it's enough to understand the logic chain. A logic chain can be transformed into a logical framework, which is in the matrix from usually containing additional information such as indicator, verification data, and analysis data. This is an example of a log frame. A logical framework is simply called log frame, PDM. It is a systematic and visual way to produce result, and it is a great way to explain your project. The logic model is composed as follows. First, resources or input are used in activities to produce product or output. Product or output create profit or benefit to the target group. Then, it affects the organizations, the community, the whole society, and the country. Let me give you an example. Let's think about when we have a headache. If we want to relieve the headache, it is necessary to take pain reliever with water. This is not only logical, but visual, isn't it? Now, let's start building a result-based action plan with the concept of a logic chain in the mind. First, please identify what to change or improve and how to improve it. Think about, first, the type of problem. Second, the goal. And third, how to achieve it. This is a simple example of project identification. We do not have relevant policies, permissions for the project. Therefore, our goal is to obtain such as legitimacy by research, workshops, and legal approval of relevant government agencies. For the lack of hardware, we need sufficient equipment and buildings. Training and education programs are needed for the low competencies of our current members. The second step is to classify and identify stakeholders into 3 groups. The first is the beneficiary group. The second is the conflict group. And the third is the supporter group. We need to analyze such stakeholder groups from the following perspectives. First, importance and influence. Second, the issues and their interest or conflict. And third, how to deal with them. The third step is to analyze the resources required to achieve the project goals. This step analyzes human resources, natural resources, financial capital, physical capital, and social capital, including trust, networking, and norms. The key activity of business promotion is to mobilize these resources timely and appropriately. In particular, there are many types of financial resources. It includes government budget, loan, and investor capital, and official development assistance, donations, and other contributions. The fourth step is to identify project components such as policy and law, hardware, software, capital development, and project office. It's the time to integrate what you have prepared from step 1 through step 4 into one table consisting of 9 dimensions. We call this task modeling on canvas. The 9 stages for project modeling are as follows. First, who are our customers, target, or beneficiaries? Second, what kind of value or benefit will you offer to or provide for your customers? Third, how do you deliver these outcomes and impacts to them? Fourth, what kinds of relationship is established when the advantage is delivered? Fifth, what are the outputs leading to the advantage? Sixth, what activity are required to produce such output? Seventh, what resources are needed for the production? Eighth, who are stakeholders and how are they related? Ninth, what is your budget plan? These 9 stages show the overall picture outlook of your project. Let's take a look at an example of project modeling on Canvas. This is a real example of cooperative that plans to start, cook, and deliver business. Customer. Since it is a cooperative, the buyer, the members of the cooperative, is the customer. Value. Fast delivery of good food, member welfare, and good eating culture. Channel. Buyers order food through a smartphone app. Relation. Customers order. Output. Sales. Activities. Channeling, cooking, and delivery. Resource. Labor and cooking skills. Stakeholder. Loan capital, credit union, and food authority. Financial structure. Fiscal investment and working capital. You can tell what this cooperative intends from just one table. In stage 6, it is needed to convert the canvas to a logical framework or a project design matrix. How to convert it? This is the PDM that the canvas will be converted to. This table will be converted to a log frame in the next chapter. Regarding impact and output, good eating culture and quick delivery of good food are selected in number 2 of the canvas. Likewise, the output is moved from number 5 of the canvas. It goes the same for activities and inputs. OVI stands for Objectively Verified Indicator and is a way to measure impact, outcome, and output. MOV stands for Material of Verification, and it indicates the source of the OVI value. Assumption means the condition for achieving a higher change or activity in the next time. This PDM describes the project in a visual and systematic way. Once a PDM or a log frame is built, it is possible to understand the project well. We now need to complete an action plan by generating a budget and timetable for your project. This is the 7th and final step of developing an action plan. There are many ways to formulate a budget. I recommend the approach of separating the sources of financial resources and preparing output and activity according to each output. As you can see from this table, the time plan is also composed of output and activities according to each output. It is recommended to plan a budget and schedule by dividing them mainly by output. This is a summary of the action plan procedures we have covered so far. There are only following 7 steps. First, as is versus to be. Second, stakeholder analysis. Third, resource analysis. Fourth, project component analysis. Fifth, modeling on Canvas. Sixth, log frame. And seventh, budgeting and timeline. These 7 steps will make you a great planner for the project. Please always remember that the action plan is a result-oriented approach. The result is to change. I hope that you can master the result-oriented action plan for your community and country. Thank you so much.